Good morning. Today, our church celebrates the Ascension of the Lord. A few years ago, I went to Ireland to visit my family. And during that time, one day, I drove to visit this old cousin of mine. This lady lived in a nursing home, and she was very old. But I went to visit her, and when I arrived, one of the staff told me, said, "Her time left is short." So I went into her room, and she was very excited to see me. And the two of us sat down. We just talked for about an hour. Just talked about our family, our history. The time to leave, I said, "I'll see you again." And I gave her a blessing. And I left. But as I was walking down the hall, she came right up to me. And she grabbed and turned me around. And she looked at me and she said, "Always remember where you came from. Never forget who you are." And she walked away. And I left, got in the car, and drove. And I drove for a long time. 3 months later, my cousin died. If you think about today, the Ascension of the Lord, that idea, remembering, not forgetting, that's the feast. First reading, the reading is from the Acts of the Apostles. We all know that reading. The apostles, the followers of Jesus, are gathered around, and Jesus ascends and ascends to heaven. And the reading says, two men, I think really two angels, go, "Hey, stop looking up there. Jesus is gone. Go back to Jerusalem. Wait there for the Holy Spirit to come on you." What for? So you'll remember everything Jesus taught you. So you'll remember how you're supposed to live. And how are we supposed to live? Well, St. Paul, in the second reading, really this is such a beautiful, wonderful reading from the letter to the Ephesians. And in that letter, St. Paul just puts down what it is we're supposed to remember and how to live as Jesus' followers. And he says, don't forget that hope, that promise of Jesus Christ. That is what we rely on. That's what we teach and preach and proclaim to the world. And how do we do that? We remember Jesus. And so in the gospel today, tells us the story, that last moment before Jesus ascends to heaven. And Jesus looks at his apostles and he says, no matter what happens in the future, I'm with you always until the end. So don't forget that. Remember that promise always. Good reminder for us, because I know right now a lot of us are just struggling with, when is this sickness going to be over? When are we going to come back to church? When will we be normal again? I don't know the answer. But during those times when we're really struggling with that, remember Jesus. And that can be your prayer. The prayer can be so simple. You can say, Jesus, 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 remember me. Jesus, help me. Jesus, be with me. Doesn't have to be fancy or a long set of words. Very simple prayer, just Jesus. And remember who Jesus is for you, for me, for all of us. Lastly, talking about remembering. Tomorrow, this Monday, is Memorial Day. And it's a special day that we are to remember all the men and women who have served our country and who sacrificed their lives. We have this wonderful, beautiful country. We have the freedoms that most countries don't have. Why? Because those people, men and women, gave up their lives. Remember them. Pray for them. And pray for all the men and women who today serve in our military all over the world, keeping us safe. God bless us all.